might decide to buy. What do we get as benefits on daily basis, weekly basis, or monthly basis? Because the truth be told, what you make for the first week might not be exactly what you make for the second week, will not be exactly what you make for the third week, the fourth week, the next month, and so on. That is assuming that everything remains equal. Because for those who have been following up on the trends or on information that has to do with this particular product, the Ultima token, you would have known that there is something we refer to as the responsibility indicator, which is graduated into 3 different zones. You have the green zone, you have the amber zone, and of course, you have the red zone. And of course, we already know for sure what it means once the pointer is in the green zone. It simply means we're in the green season, which means people are at liberty to go to the market and trade their Ultima tokens the way they so desire. Once it moves to the amber zone, we all know exactly what that means to us. We are obliged to freeze 50% of our monthly income or our monthly minted tokens. We are obliged to do a freezing of 50% within a time frame of 7 days. Failure to do so, it is going to degenerate into the red zone. And when it does, we'll be obliged now to do the freezing of the entire 100%. And if you still fail to do that within a 3 days time frame, then you will be losing something. Your subsequent minting incomes also you will forfeit them. You will not be able to get them till maybe after a period of 3 years. Now, what is going to happen here is, assuming that somebody decides to go in for the live farm. The live farm has a maximum capacity of 0.010 Ultima tokens that can be loaded inside. Now, if you multiply that fraction by the price of 1 token, which is $10,000 on the market right now, on the CoinsBit market to be very precise, then that is going to be around about $100. So if you input this $100 on this calculator, this is a calculator that was designed by some of our top leaders in the company, just to permit us have a clue of what we can possibly be making for each of the packages that we decide to buy. And depending too on the amount of coins that we might eventually load inside the farm. So with $100 that has been used to purchase this quantity of tokens and load it inside the farm, what is this person going to be making on a monthly basis? Now, be told that the payment here is going to be done over a time frame of 24 months as opposed to 12 months, like it used to be the case with our previous community coins, notably PLC, PLCU, PLCU Classic, and PLCUX. So this one, it is graduated over a 24 months time frame. And like I said before, the withdrawals in here can actually be done on daily basis. So this one has been graduated, this calculator has been graduated in such a way that it gives us the details on the withdrawals that can be done on daily basis for the first month, the second month, right up to the 24th month, the time frame over which your contract is going to remain valid. So if we want to do an examination over the very first month, this is the very first week of the first month, this is the second week, this is the third week, this is the fourth week. So for somebody who goes in for the live package, means that the person has this size and has been able to fill it. What is this person going to be able to withdraw on the daily basis? Now here, daily Ultima payout. This is the quantity of tokens that the person will be able to withdraw, the quantity of tokens that would have been produced in the system. Now you are seeing it is showing 0.000. Actually, it's not 0.000. It's just that there are too many zeros in here before you start meeting other, digits different from 0. But since this one has been designed, the designer of this one limited it to just 4 digits after the decimal point. That is why maybe you needed to have up to about 8 different zeros here. For instance, just an example, I'm taking 8 different zeros before you meet 1. So since this one has been graduated to take a maximum of 4 digits after the decimal point, that's why you see this one just remains, or this one is showing directly 000 as if you are not withdrawing anything. No, you're actually withdrawing. But now if we accumulate all of these little fractions that you are doing withdrawals for on daily basis, at the end of the first week, meaning that at the end of 7 days for the first week, all these daily accumulations would have amounted to 0.0001 for the first week. Now, during the second week, the same thing applies. So at the end of the second week, you would have withdrawn the same amount, 0.001. At the end of the third week, same amount, because for the first week is this amount, second week is this amount, and of course, the third week is this amount, which means that if you put all of them together, this is for the end of the fourth week. This is the first week, second week, third week, fourth week. So at the end, if you put all of this, if you do the sum total for these 4 weeks that are making up the very first month, then you would have met a total of 0.0005. You have made a total of 0.005 PLCU, or rather, Ultima tokens. Now, these Ultima tokens now will correspond to what? $4.69, which means that for this month, your total minted coins, or rather tokens, your total minted tokens will be standing at 0.005. Assuming that the price of the Ultima token doesn't move from the present value of 10,000. So if you do the multiplication of this amount by 10,000, it should be giving you something at the neighborhood of $4.69. It's just a projection. It's an estimate that is being made. So these ones are not precise figures. So these ones are not giving you exact figures. The calculator is just giving you an idea of what you will possibly be making. Not that what you see is exactly what you're going to be making. No, it gives you just something indicative. It's an indication of what you will possibly make. That is it for the first month. Now, for the second month, what happens? Same analysis. Second month, by the end of the first week of the second month, you will make this. This is the quantity, the total quantity of tokens you will have made. At the end of the second week, at the end of the third week, at the end of the fourth week. So, at the end of the 4 weeks for the second month, you would have collected a total of what? 0.0008. Which if you do the multiplication at the rate of $10,000, which is the value of one Ultima token in the market, then you would have made $8.15 at the end of the second month. Same analysis for the third month, fourth month, fifth month. Now, over here, we have a resume that has been made for us. Here we have a resume that is giving us what we are going to be making or what the person will be making every month for all 24 months, without necessarily giving you the daily details or the weekly details. Now we'll give you details on monthly basis directly. So for this person, the first month, the person would have made, 0.005 tokens. This is the quantity of tokens that would have been minted for the person at the end of the first month. The person would have had this quantity minted to him or her at the end of the second month. At the end of the third month is this amount. Fourth month, fifth month, sixth month, seventh month, eighth month. Now, assuming that the price of one Ultima token in the market continues to remain at the present $10,000, then this person making this quantity of tokens at the end of the first month, if you multiply by the $10,000, then the person would have been, entitled to $4.69. This is the amount the person would have earned. This is the quantity that would have been minted and sold for the person. That's if the person takes this quantity of coins to the exchange to sell at the rate of $10,000. Then the person would have made this amount as income for the first month. For the second month, this person would have made this. Third month, this. Fourth month, fifth month, sixth month. Now you realize that as time goes by, what you make every day or every week or every month increases, is on the increase. That is why you will hardly see a chart anywhere telling you that this is exactly what you will be making every month for a particular package that you purchase. So it is different from the case of the community coins that we've been dealing with before now, where you can actually get a projection that is made on what you'll be making every month. But here it's not like that. So as time goes by, what you are making per day or per week or per month is actually increasing. That is assuming that we continue to stay in the green section or in the green region. For those of you who have been following up, you understand what the responsibility indicator is all about, the 3 zones. So if we continue to stay in the green zone, then these are the projections. This is exactly what you will possibly be making in an increasing manner or in an ascending manner, if we continue to stay in that green section. And of course, if we continue to stay on the same $10,000 worth of one Ultima token. If we continue to stay on that. Now, if the price of one Ultima token moves from $10,000 to maybe $11,000 or $12,000, if it moves upward, then this monthly amount, because the quantity of tokens that will be produced for you every month will be the same, it doesn't change. It is the worth. It is the worth of the monthly tokens or daily tokens which you are able to withdraw that changes. So that means that the dollar equivalencies also will be increasing. It's as simple as that. So if we do this analysis for somebody who bought the LIPA, this is actually what the person will be making on the on monthly basis. That's the accumulation for the daily withdrawals, weekly withdrawals. So at the end of each month, this is what the person would have made for the first month, second month, third month, fourth month. Then, if this person makes this amount, the ruling, in fact, what is referred to as the ruling dollar value here simply means that for the first month, this is actually what the person withdrew. Now, for the second month, this person was given this token, or this person minted this quantity of tokens, which if he or she sold, then the person would have made $8.15, which means that as of the second month, the total quantity in terms of dollars that the person has received from this system so far will be standing at the first amount that the person withdrew, which is this amount, plus this one that the person is making now, which is 18.15. So if you add this amount to this amount, it gives you this total of 12.84. So during the third month, this is actually what the person's tokens will be producing for the person in dollars, which means that as of the third month, the total amount that the person has been paid, or that the person has received as payment from this system will stand at this $12.84 plus how much the person is making in terms of dollars for this present month. So if you add this one to this one, it gives you this total. So the next month, what the person will be getting will be $12.61 plus what the person had already received as total as of last month, added to what the person is making this month, will now give this person the total of this. So all these totals down here are representing the total amounts that the person would have received from the system so far as of that particular month when the person is receiving the benefit for that particular month. So that is what this line below actually represents. Now, so if we are going by the analysis of this person who has gone in for the light pack, if we do the evaluation for the first 12 months, then at the end of the first 12 months, the person would have made a total of what? $166.22. This is what the person would have made. That's assuming that the Ultima token continues to stay on the fixed price of $10,000. Now, during the second year, which is going to be an accumulation of 12 months again, if we do the analysis, if we do the sum total for all the months, assuming that the price of the coin keeps staying at $10,000, then at the end, this person with a light bar would have met $214. This is the quantity of tokens that the person would have had, which will be equivalent to $214.66, assuming that the price stays at $10,000. But we shall know for the fact that it's going to be impossible for the price to stay on $10,000. It will definitely be growing. That's knowing, you know, all the products that have been put in place that are going to be, you know, like attracting a lot of demand in the system. So there will definitely be need, because there are two underlying cryptocurrencies that will be needed for each of those transactions to go through, as we already know. You will require the Ultima token, which is the underlying cryptocurrency for all of those transactions. And of course, an imperative fee, which is referred to as a gas fee, which must be paid. And it can only be paid using the native cryptocurrency of the blockchain. In our own context, it's going to be paid using the smart coin. That is where our community coins come in, because you need to swap the community coins to get the smart coins. So I'm not teaching anybody anything again new on this. We are already conversant with all of this information. We already know about that. So for the first year, the person makes $166.22. For the second year, the person makes a total of $214. Now, if you want to see the equivalency in terms of the Ultima tokens, you see that here for the first year, and you also see that here for the second year. Now, the sum total for both years, meaning that for the first and the second year, now in dollar value, we stand at this. This is the total that the person would have made in dollar value. And this is what that total represents in terms of the Ultima token. So the person would have made this total in terms of Ultima tokens, which would represent the equivalence in dollars of this amount, assuming that one Ultima token continues to remain on $10,000. But if it does increases, then you will see a similar increase also reflecting in terms of the dollar equivalencies. But if at some point within the first year or within the second year, it shows that we have to freeze a certain quantity of tokens. Let me take this one, for instance. Assume that during the second month, the pointer moves from the green zone into the amber zone, which requires a 50% freezing. So the 50% freezing means we are going to freeze 50% of this one. This is 0.008. So if we freeze 50% here, means we are going to freeze 0.004. Now, what do we do? In this calculator, I'm going to input 0.0004 here. Once I do that, then everything also is going to change for the rest of the other months. What you'll be receiving also on monthly basis too is going to be modified because of this quantity of coins that have been frozen here. And the more often we do the freezing of the tokens, the more it further modifies, meaning that what you are supposed to be making every day or every week or every month also is going to be reduced. Then by the end, taking this example, assuming that we were able to freeze for just this second month alone, then at the end, this is the quantity of tokens that the person would have met, which will amount to this amount, or rather, which will amount to this in dollars, $162.37, down from 166. Remember, we had 166, so thereabout, you know, assuming that everything was okay. because of this freezing that we have done, because the pointer moved into the amber section that was obliging everybody to do the freezing of 50%, then we experienced a drop down that went right down to $162.37. And remember, each time the coins are frozen, the 50% is frozen, you can only have access to them again at the end of 3 years from the moment that freezing was done. So that is it. Now, assuming that we go in for another license, let's take another example. Let's go back to our package of licenses, 0.1 Ultima tokens. Let us come to our calculator here. We put $1,000, which is the worth of the 0.1 token. Now, what does this person, we can begin to do the analysis on daily basis, daily withdrawals. For this person, okay, for the very first week, the first day of the first week, this person will be able to make a withdrawal of 0.002. Second day, 1%, because withdrawal per day is 1% of the quantity of coins that would have been produced for you after a period of 30 days. That's for the first, meaning that the moment you begin now, you have to wait for 30 days until your first payment is done. And that payment of 30%, which if you evaluate 60% of it, is going to stand at this, because you only be able to withdraw 60%. We already know that. So nobody is new to this. That is going to represent 0.018, sorry, for the very first time that you want to be doing the withdrawal. So the balance that you are going to have, that will stand at 0.018, which means you will be able to do a 60% withdrawal, and 40% withdrawal will be kept in the savings account, which you can only make use of to increase your farm size. And each time you make use of it to increase your farm size, that 40% quantity of tokens will be burnt completely. It's completely removed from the market to create further reduction of the supply in the market. That is a strategy that the company is using also to play on the price of the coin, or rather the token in the market. So the first day, 1% withdrawal is going to stand at this. Second day, 1% withdrawal will also stand at this. Third day will stand at this one. But this doesn't mean that this 1% here is the same as 1%. Now, we are talking 1% of what? This is 1% of this quantity of tokens. So once you remove the 1% out of this quantity of tokens, you'll be left with this. If you evaluate 1% of this one, it still gives you something approximately equivalent to what you withdrew here. So you're actually doing a reduction of this quantity here, 1% of this one that you're taking out. Once you remove 1% out of this one, this is the balance that remains. If you evaluate 1% of this balance, if you take it out, the 1% will still stand at this one, which will be 1% of this one. So the 1% removed from this one will stand at this one. This is the new balance. 1% of this one will still give you something around about the same. So you see that the amounts are almost the same, but it doesn't mean that it's the same principal figure that you are extracting the 1% out of. No, it's just that the gap, the difference between the 1% that you are taking out of here and the 1% out of here is very, very small. That gives you the impression that it's almost the same thing, but it's not. Once the figures actually begin to grow, you will now actually notice the differences. So the 1% withdrawals per day cumulated over a period of 7 days, which means that for the first week, this person would have been able to withdraw 0.0012. For the second week, 0.0011. Third week, 0.0011. And the fourth week, the person would have been able to withdraw 0.0013. Now you realize that 0.0013 is not the same as this one. It's simply because, you know, the calendar that we have, there are some weeks, or, you know, when it comes to the issue of the weeks, we know normally that is going to be made of 7 days. Each week is made of 7 days. But then the calendar is graduated in such a way that there's a particular row that might contain up to about 6 or 7 different days. For instance, this is a typical example. If you take the first line, which is made of 7 days, the second line made of 7 days, the third line made of 7 days, the fourth line, if the fourth line was supposed to be limited to 7 days, which means that for that particular month, we'll have just 28 days, but there are months that go up to 30 days, some 31 days, some even 28 days only, or 29 days, depending on whether it's a leap year or not. I'm talking of February to be very precise. So if you take just 7 days a week, first week, 7 days second week, 7 days third week, 7 days fourth week, then we'll end up with 28 days. What if it is a month that goes up to 30 days? That's why you see the last week here, the last row here, takes into consideration the extra number of days, so that the total number of days for that month should make 30. That's why you see this one, the amount that you receive at the end of this last row is actually higher than what you get for the first 3 weeks. So it's not the same. Now, so if you do the addition of all of these amounts, for the 4 weeks of that particular month, then that would have given you, means that this person with this basic pack at the end of the first month would have met 0.0047, which will stand at $46.85. That's assuming that the price of one Ultima token continues to be at, or remain at $10,000. Same analysis will be done for the second month, third month, fourth month. This is a fourth month here. This is a fifth month, sixth month. So you do the analysis for all 24 months. Now, a recap of it, you see, these are the various values that are displayed here for each of the months. If it is a fifth month here, this is the, in fact, this one gives you a recapitulation of, you know, what you are supposed to get on each of those various days, depending on how you want to be doing it. So this is a recap. This is a summary on weekly basis. Now, we want to receive the summaries for all these months. It means that all of these totals per month will simply come back to the top part here. This one gives us a monthly resume. So for the first month, this person would have made $46.85. For the second month, $80.47. For the third month, $106.38. 125, 139, 150, 157, 163, 167. At the end of the first 12 months, means at the end of the first year, this person would have made a total of what? $1,658.36, which would represent the equivalence of the total quantity of tokens that the person would have been able to mint. And if the price continues to stay under, you know, $10,000, let me remove this one. We are assuming that we did not freeze any quantity of coins. If we didn't freeze any quantity of coins, then the person will actually be able to make $1,662.21. Then during the second year, this is the section for the second year, year 2, means that from month 13, this person, if you do the addition for all the months, then at the end, the person would have made $2,146.64 for the second year. Then if you put all totals for the first year and the second year, I mean to say, then the person would have made a total of $3,808.86, which will be representing the worth of this quantity of tokens that the person would have made. So that is assuming that the person, in fact, no freezing actually took place in the meantime. So you can actually make use of this calculator. You do the testing depending on the farm that you want to buy and the quantity of coins that will be loaded inside. So if you make a choice on any of these farms, then you can simply make use of the calculator and you see exactly what you actually be making up from it on daily basis or on weekly basis or on monthly basis. So simply make a choice. Simply choose any of these licenses depending on the one you're going in for. Once you make that, then simply go to the calculator, input it there the way you have seen me inputting the values. Then you'll be able to get at least an estimate of what you'll be making every day, every week, or every month. So, like I said, those values that you receive from the calculator are not representing exact values. So let nobody consider that to be the exact values that they will be getting on daily basis, weekly, or monthly basis. They are simply giving you indications. They are purely indicative. They give you an idea of how much you'll be making, assuming that the conditions are kept stable. I believe that whoever is watching this video feed right now, if you're able to watch it from the very beginning up to this point, then you should at least be able to have a clue or have a perfect understanding on what you stand to get for each package that you actually buy. So you shouldn't be expecting to see a list like this one, which is designed somewhere where beside you will see, you know, a column that is telling you this is what you'll be making every month. You will not be able to see that like it used to be the case with our community coins. That is because this one, what you withdraw or what you stand to get as income per day or per week or per month is not the same for any 2 days or any 2 weeks or any 2 months. It's not the same. And then given the fact that we have 3 conditions we have to watch out for, whether we are in the green zone, whether we are in the amber zone, whether we are in the red zone. So depending on the zones we find ourselves, is going to also affect, you know, the amount they are going to be making every month. But the good thing here is the responsibility indicator, as we all know already, keeps us in a better position because no one will be able to single-handedly dump the market. People will not be able to dump the price of this coin again, because once it starts moving out of certain intervals, the responsibility indicator gets into it or into the process and then tries to correct the market situation for us to make sure that we are always in a comfortable zone, which is the green zone. So with that, I believe somebody has understood and of course appreciates what has been presented to him or her in this particular video. Thank you very much for watching. Have a wonderful day.